and welcome to this session of Yoga for Vitality. Today we're going to explore a practice that helps us to amplify and cultivate the qualities of the heart. Energetically, the heart is where the element of air is governed from. It's right at the center of the chest, and it relates physically to our thoracic spine or diaphragm, the lungs, the rib cage. These are all the breathing muscles. The heart chakra is also energetically the space in our body that is the balance between the lower three chakras, which relate to matter, and the upper three chakras, which relate more to subtle energy or spirit. So in that sense, we talk about the heart as being the bridge between matter and spirit. It's also what helps us to find balance and harmony in our lives, balancing our ability to give and to receive, to love and be loved, to breathe in and breathe out. Our ability to embody dualities and opposites, to hold space for contradictions, to see the self in other, are all virtues that come from the heart. And in a sense, the heart is where we start to develop a relationship to ourselves. The heart chakra is a lot about sustainability. It's, if you think about the organ of the heart, it's what sustains us, what keeps us alive. Again, our breath sustains us. It's what helps us to stay balanced, vital, energized, to quiet and calm the nervous system. So when we're really able to create this sense of connection and harmony at the heart, we create this sense of harmony and connection with ourselves, which then gives rise to a more authentic, compassionate, empathetic, loving relationship to others. So the part of the heart in our physical body where this resides is, again, as I mentioned, the diaphragm, the lungs, the rib cage, the center of the chest. So we're going to do a practice today to help to open up that part of the body, to help us to free that space at the center of the chest, the heart, and also to work on balancing the breath, creating a sense of ease and fullness in our breath, and to ultimately connect to this area, which is the bridge between ourselves and everything and everyone else in the universe. So for this practice, you will need 2 blocks and either I'm using a bed pillow, so if you have a bed pillow, that'll do, or a thick cushion or something of that nature. All right, so let's get started. Let's come into a comfortable cross-legged seat. Start by adjusting your sitting bones so you feel your sitting bones evenly rooted into the support of the floor. And once you find that balance of your sitting bones, then go ahead and close your eyes. If you feel like you're rounding or collapsing in your spine, then slide a blanket or a prop underneath you so you can really feel this natural lift and length up through your spine. Feel the spaciousness across your collarbones and allow the tops of the shoulders to relax. Let's place one hand to the heart and your other hand to your belly, just connecting to your breath. We say that the breath is what connects our mind and our body. Our breath is what connects ourselves as form-based selves to our unlimited and universal self. Breath is also directly connected to how we feel. So notice what the quality of your breath is here. What is it telling you about how you're feeling? Our heart chakra is a lot about our feelings, our sensitivity, our ability to be conscious of what arises from the heart. And to not be judging of that, to hold space for that, to create a bridge between the feelings, what arises, and love, unconditional love. So just slowly feeling the breath in and the breath out. Notice if your inhale is longer than your exhalation, or vice versa. When we breathe in longer than we breathe out, usually means we're anxious or nervous. When the exhale is longer than the inhale, usually means we're feeling lethargic or unmotivated. Creating a balance in your breath to create some balance and harmony in how you feel. Now you can rest your hands down onto the tops of the thighs. For now, keep your palms facing down. We're going to move a little bit on the breath. So as you happen to breathe in, lift the chest, lift the gaze, just let your whole front body open up. A little lift for your sternum here, keep your shoulder blades on the back. As you exhale, tuck your tailbone under and round your spine, letting your head drop down a little bit. Breathing in, tip your pelvis forward, lift your spine, lift your gaze, gazing up. And exhale, tuck your tailbone, round your spine, let your chin drop down towards your chest. Do this a couple of times on your own, just allowing the breath now to initiate the movement and your movement to follow the breath. So you're not thinking this, you're not trying this, but you're just letting it arise naturally from the impulse of your breath, which comes from the heart. Now we're going to add some arm movement. As you happen to breathe in, you'll float the arms wide. Let your palms face up and gaze up. Make space across your collarbones. As you exhale, round your spine, lace the fingers, and let your head drop down. And do this again. Arms stretch wide as you breathe in. Palms up, gaze up. Make space across your collarbones. As you breathe out, lace the fingers, stretch your arms forward, and round your spine. More like this on your own. So we're opening up the front passage of the body, front of the heart, which helps us to connect to the external world, and the back of the heart, which helps us to connect to our inner world. Just finding balance of those two dualities. Not giving too much of ourselves, but also not closing ourselves off from the outside realm. Next time you exhale, keep your fingers laced, rounding your spine. As you next happen to breathe in, we'll stretch the arms straight up overhead. Take a smooth inhale here. As you exhale, press your palms up towards the ceiling. Keep rooting down through your sitting bones. Breathe in, take a nice long, tall length through your side body. Even see if you can feel your back ribs lifting. As you exhale, take a gentle twist to your right. Left arm's in front of you, right arm's behind you, propping up onto your fingertips. And now again, connect to your breath. If you want to close your eyes, close your eyes. Notice how as you breathe in, the spine grows long, and as you breathe out, you can gently rotate around the axis of your spine, not forcing from your head and your neck. So just begin to notice what your tendency is. Is it to force and to push and to try and make something happen? Or can you listen to the wisdom of the breath, just guided by the wisdom of the heart? Breathing in, float both arms back up overhead. Lace your fingers so the opposite pointer finger comes in front now, pressing your palms up, root your seat down. Smooth inhale, nice long, tall spine. Exhale, twist to your left. Right arm in front of you, left arm behind you. Propping up onto your fingertips. Again, if you feel comfortable closing your eyes, feel free to close your eyes. Lengthening as you breathe in and gently rotate as you breathe out. And notice if you're collapsing and rounding in your spine here. See if you can keep your spine nice and tall so you keep that space in your chest cavity. Make space for your breath to breathe. Breathing in, stretch both arms back up overhead. Bring your palms to touch and lower your hands down the midline of your body. And just taking a moment here to connect to the space at the center of your chest. There's usually a calling or sensation or messages that we get from the heart, because again, this is what connects us to that field of unbound intelligence, right? And it's what helps us to bridge that intelligence to the intelligence of this material world. So see if you can connect to that space at the center of your chest and just honor it. Setting an intention for you to experience what you need to experience and to not judge, to not abandon or reject, but to hold that space of inclusivity, of tolerance, of love, of compassion, and acceptance. We'll float the eyes open, and let's come up onto hands and knees in cat pose. So take your wrists under your shoulders, your knees under your hips. Spread your fingers comfortably wide, and taking this same mechanism of moving on the breath as you breathe in, the upper back contracts, chest lifts, belly expands, a little ribcage expands. As you exhale, press the tops of the feet into the floor, pull your belly button up towards the spine and drop your head down. Again, breathing in, curl the toes, arch the upper back, face looks up, sit bones lift, back of the neck stays long. On your exhalation, tops of the feet press into the mat, rounding your spine, dropping your head down. And just moving like this on your own. You can breathe in and out through the nostrils. And if I'm going too fast or slow for you, just find a pace that suits you. You don't have to keep up with my breath. Just listen to your own breath. Coming back into a neutral position with your spine, keep your hips right where they are, so they stay right over your knees. And then walk your hands forward. If you need a blanket under your knees, feel free to slide a blanket under there for some support. Propping up onto your fingertips, let your forehead begin to drop down towards the mat. If your forehead doesn't touch the mat, you can use your block or a cushion to rest underneath your forehead. And just be sure that your upper back, your thoracic spine, is sinking down towards the floor. So just like gravity, kind of pull your upper back down towards the floor. Smooth breaths in and out. And now walking your hands back a little bit. You can take your block off to the side of your mat. Bring your hands just slightly forward of your shoulders, fingers spread wide. Curl your toes under, breathe in fully. As you breathe out slowly, begin to lift your hips up and back, coming into downward facing dog. Paying attention here to this region of the heart chakra, the rib cage. Notice if your front ribs are overexpressed. See if you can bring some breath into your back ribs. So you balance again that energy of giving and receiving, moving outward and inward. As you press down into the pads of the hands, lift your hips and your thighs up and back. Now look forward to your hands and gently walk your feet to your hands, bringing your feet about a fist or 2 fist distances apart. Soften your knees, rest your belly on your thighs, and let your head drop down. And shake your head a little bit, side to side and forward and back. So really letting go of this cerebral tension that often dictates our lives and occupies most of the real estate in our being. So we connect to a different intelligence, the heart. Bend the knees a little now and walk your hands up the fronts of your thighs. Let your head be the last to come up. Coming all the way up to stand. Just take a moment in Tadasana, line your heels behind the widest part of your feet. Like you could draw the energy of the earth up through the soles of your feet. Feel that subtle lift of your pelvic floor. Your palms facing forward. Your head and neck easeful. And can you feel in this pose the balance of steadiness, ease, getting grounded and rooted? At the same time, open and receptive and inspired. The heart is the bridge between those two qualities. We'll move on the breath here. So floating the arms out and up as you breathe in. Bring your palms to touch at the top. And as you breathe out, slowly fold forward over your legs. Take a little bend through your knees. Release your head at the bottom. Inhale your hands to your shin bones, lengthen your spine, gaze a little bit forward. On your exhale, soften your knees again and let your head go towards the floor. Breathing in, arms stretch out and all the way up. Rising up through a flat back, see the palms touch. Keep them touching as you exhale your hands down the midline of your body. We'll do this again. Circle the arms down, around and up. Exhale, forward bend over the legs. So feel free to bend your knees. That helps you to make space in your torso and your chest. Inhale, hands to your shin bones. Lengthen your spine, gazing a little forward. Exhale, fold again over the legs. Belly to thighs. Head towards the mat. Inhale, stretch the arms out, around and up. Let the palms touch at the top. Exhale, lower your hands down the midline of your body. Standing tall. Adding on, circle the arms down, around and up. See if you can inspire the movement with the breath. On your exhale, slowly come forward over the legs. Feel how that exhale helps you to release down. Inhale, bring your hands to your shin bones. Gaze a little bit forward. On your exhale, bend the knees, touch your fingertips to the mat. Step your left foot way back to low lunge. Just check that that right knee is right over your ankle. Drop your back knee either to the mat or on a blanket. Take your hands to your front thigh. Lift your belly up off your thigh. Keep your low belly engaged and then stretch the arms up overhead. Feel like you lift from your low ribs all the way up to the fingertips. Maybe even lift through the center of your chest and gaze up if you can balance there. On your exhalation, lower your hands to frame the front foot. As you breathe in, slide the right knee back to meet your left knee. Modified plank, shoulders right over the wrists. Keep your gaze forward, keep your low belly engaged, and breathe in smoothly. As you breathe out, bend your elbows straight back, and in one unit, lower all the way down to the floor onto your belly. Now press back through your toes and breathe in to peel your chest, your neck, your head up off the floor, baby cobra. Keep the back of your neck long. See if you can lift from the strength of your upper back. On your exhale, lower your head back down, curl your toes, press back to hands and knees. Hips towards your heels, and then slowly begin to lift your hips up and back, coming back to downward facing dog. And if down dog becomes too strenuous, it's really being conscious and compassionate to yourself. You can always, if you need, rest in child's pose. So just beginning that process of non-judgment. On your next inhale, look forward to your hands. On your exhale, step your left foot forward. Help it up if you need to. Left knee is right over the ankle. Hands to your front thigh and lift your belly up off your thigh. Keep tone through the belly. Stretch the arms up overhead. Again, maybe you lift a little bit more through the center of your chest. Otherwise, keep your gaze forward. As you next happen to breathe out, lower your hands to the mat, or you can even place them to blocks. Curl the back toes, lift your back knee up, and on your in-breath, step your back foot forward. Bring your hands to your shin bones and lengthen your spine. Breathe out and fold forward over the legs. Breathe in, stretch the arms out, and all the way up, rising up through a flat back, palms touch. Exhale your hands down the midline of your body, standing tall, heart open, legs strong. Again, sweep the arms out and up as you breathe in. Palms touch. Breathe out, forward bend at your hips. Come to the very bottom of your exhalation. Inhale your hands to your shin bones. Gaze a little bit forward. Breathe out, bend the knees. Fingertips touch the mat and the right foot steps way back to low lunge. Now drop the back knee down to the mat or on a blanket. Inhale, stretch the arms up overhead. Kneeling or crescent lunge, lift your heart. As you exhale, lower your hands to frame your front foot. Inhale your left foot to meet the right foot, either modified or regular plank if you have the strength to support that. Inhale here, exhale with or without your knees. Lower all the way down to the floor in one unit. Press back through your toes. Baby cobra, just peel your chest, neck, head up off the floor. Back of the neck stays long. As you exhale, lower your head down, curl your toes, press back to hands and knees, and then make your way slowly up and back to downward facing dog. And checking out your feet. Make sure the heels are aligned behind the widest part of your feet. Spread your fingers, and as you press firmly into the mat, reach your hips way up and back. Take an in-breath, look forward to your hands. Exhale, step the right foot up, help it up if you need to. Lower your back knee down. Inhale, arms float up overhead. Keep support through your low belly. Lift your heart, lift your gaze if you can. On your exhalation, hands frame the front foot. Curl your back toes, lift your back knee up, and then inhale your back foot forward. Take your hands to your shin bones, lengthening your spine. Exhale, soften your knees and fold over the legs. Breathing in, arms stretch out and up. Rise up through a flat back. See your palms touch. Keep them touching as you lower your hands down the midline of your body. Just take a moment here with your palms touching. We're going to take a hand gesture, a mudra called Padma Mudra. Thumb and pinky finger touch, open the middle 3 fingers. So it's like a lotus flower blossoming. So hold that position as you stand here in Tadasana. You can close your eyes. Just notice the impact it has on your heart. Feel that sense of blossoming, of freeing at the center of your chest. So now float the arms down alongside the body. Take an inhale and stretch your arms up overhead. Interlace your fingers so your pointer finger points straight up. Take a side bend to your right, pressing into your left foot. So opening up your left waist, your left rib cage, stretching the intercostal muscles which help us to breathe. Inhale, come back to center. And exhale, side bend to your left, pressing into your right foot. Keep support through your low belly. Once more, coming back to center as you breathe in. Breathing out over to your right. Inhale. And exhale to your left. As you next inhale, come back to center. Exhale, lower your arms down alongside your body. Take your hands to your hips now. Take a smooth inhale. And as you exhale, step your left foot back, a medium stance. Feel free to inch this right foot over to the right a little bit so you're not quite on a tightrope. You have a little space so you feel really steady on your feet. Hands to your hips and then bend your front knee, lining your knee right over your ankle. If you have the range, you can take your stance a little bit longer. We're coming into Warrior 1, Virabhadrasana 1. But if you're feeling a little off balance here, take a wider and a little bit of a shorter stance. Then float the arms straight up overhead, lifting from your low ribs all the way up to your fingertips. We're going to move on the breath here. So as you happen to breathe in, straighten the front leg, take your elbows wide and gaze up, lifting through the center of your chest. You really open up your pectoral muscles, the chest. As you exhale, bend the front knee and root into your back foot. Do this again. Straighten the front leg. As you inhale, elbows wide. Gaze up if you can. Otherwise, gaze forward. That's fine too. Exhale, bend the front knee. Arms overhead. Again, inhale, straighten the front leg. Exhale, bend the front knee. And we'll pause here. Arms overhead. You can take them as wide as you need to keep this whole region in your body, your chest, your shoulder girdle, the rib cage, spacious and open, supported. Focusing on sustainability. How do you sustain in the pose without overdoing it? Still stay engaged. Straighten your front leg, take your hands to your hips. Step your back foot forward to meet the front. And we'll switch sides. Bend the knees a little bit, step the right foot back. Medium stance. Again, feel free to inch your left foot a little bit to the left so you have a little more stability in your feet. If you have the range, you want to take them a little bit longer, feel free to take a longer stance. Then square the hips off, bend the left knee, root into your back foot, float the arms up overhead, lift from your lower ribs all the way up to your fingertips, space in the front, back, and sides of your body. Breathing in, straighten the front leg, take your elbows wide and gaze up. Breathing out, bend the front knee and anchor into your back foot as the arms reach up overhead. Again, straighten the front leg, elbows wide, gaze up, make space across your collarbones. Exhale, bend the front knee, arms up overhead. Once more like this, on your own, you can just move at a pace that feels good to you, connecting to your breath, the rhythm of your breath. We'll all eventually pause here with the front knee bent, getting anchored, rooted, and at the same time, open, expansive, and inspired. Take your hands to your hips, straighten your left leg, and then step your back foot forward to meet the front foot. Coming back into Tadasana, mountain pose. Stand nice and tall. Feel your heart beating, feel your breath breathing. Staying connected, checking in, not out. Take a breath in and reach the arms up overhead. Once again, bring your palms to touch. This time as you breathe out, fold forward over your legs. Coming all the way down. Again, bend your knees as much as you need to here. Take your hands to your shin bones and lengthen your spine. Keep your gaze just slightly forward. On your exhale, bend the knees. Hands to the mat. Step your left and your right foot back. You'll come into downward facing dog. Feel free to take your feet a little bit wider, anchoring into the pads of your hands. And then gently drop your knees down and sit back onto your heels. So just take a moment with your elbows to the mat. You can rest one palm on top of the other. Rest your forehead down. It's an excellent pose to help us to get introspective, to connect inward to ourselves. And so much of our ability to connect outward to others is determined by our ability to connect inward. Now we'll slowly come back up to an upright position. If you need some support under your knees, slide a blanket under your knees, or you can even fold the mat over so you have some support under your kneecaps. You're going to come up into a kneeling position. Take your hands behind you to your lower back and bring your fingertips to point down. Keep your low belly engaged, and then like you would a thread, pulling the sternum up, begin to lift through the center of your chest. Back of the neck stays long. Smooth breaths in and out through the nostrils. Don't worry about how far you get. Just stay more at a mild or moderate pace here in expression. Opening up the sternum, the rib cage, the center of the chest. Slowly come back to center as you inhale. If you have a block or a thick book, take your block underneath your seat. So just in between your ankles and come to sit down. If you need two blocks, you can stack one block on top of the other. Rest the backs of your hands to your knees and your thumb and forefinger to touch. Close your eyes. Just notice what you feel. Now float the eyes back open. I'm going to take this one more time, coming up into a kneeling position. Again, kneeling either on your blanket if you need, or fold the mat over. Hands to your lower back. Keep support through your low belly and lift up through the center of the chest, as if you had a thread pulling the sternum up. This might be a good place for you to stay. Some of you might be able to curl the toes under, and you can, I'll show you an option with your bed pillow. You can take your pillow onto your calves, your feet flat, and then take your 2 blocks, if you have your 2 blocks or 2 books, and place them onto the pillow. And then press your hands into the blocks, keep your shoulders right over your wrists, and begin to lift up again through the center of your chest. You can feel this back bend happening in your upper back, not in your low back, but in your thoracic spine. And then slowly come back up using your abdominal muscles to support you. Okay, take your blocks off to the side. Take your blanket out from behind you. We're going to sit again onto the heels. This time, if you like, sit on a block, or you can even sit on 2 blocks if you need extra support. I'm going to take another hand gesture. Backs of the hands resting onto the knees. So sitting as you are, take your right thumb and your pointer finger to touch and press the point right at the center of your chest. All right? We'll come back here. So right thumb, point your finger to touch and press the point right at the center of your chest. Close your eyes. And just visualize this pinprick of light at the center of your chest. As you breathe in, feel this light expand. And as you breathe out, feel this light contracting back to a point at the center of your chest. Breathe in and the light expands. Breathing out, back to a point at the center of your chest. Just let your breath and this visual create this sense of synchronicity. You're expanding light on the inhale, feeling it draw back to a point at the center of your chest as you exhale. Keep your eyes closed and rest the backs of your hands to your knees, your thumb and pointer finger to touch. Let's see if you can visualize, as your breath goes a little more still and quiet, that this light begins to radiate and expand out into each cell of your body. Feel each cell of your body radiant and vibrant with this light from the center of your chest. See if you can allow this light to expand so much that it creates this electromagnetic field of light around you. You're just bathing it. Just resting in your own light. That light of expansion, the light of love, the light of your true nature, your heart. Now float your chin down towards your chest, slowly blink your eyes open. Come on off of the block and swing the legs around in front. You can scoot a little bit forward. We're going to finish off in what's called Tarasana. So the soles of your feet come together and the knees come wide. Your feet are about a foot distance away from your hips. If you have your blocks, you'll need your blocks for this. Maybe you want to use a blanket as well, your pillow as well. You can make a little incline out of your pillow with your block underneath it. And then slowly begin to fold forward. Resting your forehead on the pillow, your arms down alongside you. And the whole goal here is to really round your spine. We're doing the opposite of what we've been doing, which is opening up through the center of the chest. Now just allow your chest, your shoulder blades to round a little bit. Let your shoulder girdle just release towards the floor. Your head become heavy. Quieting down your breath. Just notice where you're holding tension in the body. What is your habit? How you relate to yourself. Where can you be more tolerant, more accepting, less judgmental? Now we're going to slowly begin to roll up through the spine, just letting your head be the last to come up. We'll finish off with a heart opening pose. So you can have your pillow, place it behind you lengthwise, and then take your two blocks. You can scoot forward a little bit to the front edge of your mat. Your pillow is going to come right at the base of your sacrum, depending on how long your pillow is, maybe a little bit away from your sacrum. Now, soles of the feet together, you can take your heels in a little closer towards your buttocks and take a block underneath each thigh. So you're supporting your hips and your knees with your blocks. And now we'll gently recline back, resting onto the bolster or your pillow, palms face up. Hopefully you get that response. You should feel the sense of just gentle and deep release. If your chin is a little higher than your forehead, everyone, take a blanket or an extra pillow underneath your head so you have some support. And then closing your eyes. The weight of your body drop back into the support of the floor. Relax your belly. Relax your chest and your shoulders. Keep your elbow joints soft and relaxed. Relax your fingers. Relax each fingertip. Feel your throat and your jaw relax. Relax the tongue inside your mouth, your cheeks, your ears, eyes, and eyebrows. Let your forehead go smooth and soft, smoothing out any lines in your face. Relax your brain. Slowly begin to deepen your breath. Feel how the breath in awakens and inspires you. Breath out helps you to release and let go, anchors you back to the earth. Rub your thumbs lightly over each fingertip and wiggle your toes. Gather your knees in towards one another. Draw your legs in. Bring your knees in and your feet wide for a moment. Stretch your arms up overhead. And then take one side longer than the other. And stretch the other side longer. You can stretch your legs out gently. Just again, stretching one and the other side longer. And then bend both knees and roll over to your right side in fetal position, curling into a little ball. In your own time, press your hands down, coming on up into an upright seated position. If you want, you can sit on your pillow. It's right here for you. Just letting your head be the last to come up. Sit up nice and tall. Joining your palms to touch at the center of the chest. This is a symbol of union, of bringing together the opposites, right, left, male, female, sun, and moon. And the heart is the bridge that enables us to hold these opposites within us. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great rest of your day. Namaste.